Hello! I'm alive! I'm alive! Oh man, this happens every week, doesn't it? I have to sit and look at this little scroll thing. It's not 5 o'clock on Wednesday. Give me a hashtag replay. And I am just checking who we have. Whether I am live. Yes, I am live. Fabulous. So I hope you can hear me okay. Sorry, I'm just going. Oh, yes. That's the matrix right there. I'm talking to you there. There. Okay, so I hope you're all having an amazing day. I hope you've had an amazing June. Today is the last day of June. Fabulous. It's been a fantastic month. Been a fantastic month. I have had an amazing time, met amazing people. I've been out in the caravan. I've been other places. So yeah, feels nice, doesn't it, to get back out in a little bit of freedom, a little bit of sunshine, which is obviously making me, the lighting situation is not fantastic here. Alright, so tonight we are talking about the top 5 fat burning foods. And I'm here to burst the social media bubble and tell you, no. No. They are top 5 fat burning foods is just a sensationalist post to get you to buy into something. There is no such thing as top 5 fat burning foods. Okay, so you will. I talked about Instagram a couple of weeks ago. So I am on Instagram. I use it for work, but I follow other people. I look at athletes basically and go, oh, I wish I could do that, and then I go and try and do it and go, no, I can't do that. But anyway, I see a lot of stuff from various from coaches, from companies, with a lot of nonsense basically. And that post actually jumped out to me, and I was like, oh, I wonder what they're saying. And I was like, that's a crock of shit, that's a crock of shit, that's a crock of shit, and that's a crock of shit. So the lesson I want to fat is an equation of the foods that you eat, i.e. the calories you consume, versus the activity you do, the calories out. Okay, so there's a lot of complex stuff in there, but that's a very simplistic view. So if you eat too many calories than what you are expending, you will gain the body fat, and if you do spend more calories, i.e. do more of the movement and consume less of them by eating, you will lose the body fat. Okay, it does not matter to kahunas whether that is through calorie counting, Weight Watchers, Slimming World, fasting, keto, anything. You know, anything to lose weight all comes down to calories, and there is a gazillion in fact, there's a very interesting study now. Let me try and remember this. The person, I can't remember the guy's name, nutritionist, but basically the guy that basically said keto is the magic solution to losing body fat, and he did this huge research study. And then there's this other group who, I think the guy is Martin, he's really famous in the nutrition world, Martin something. Anyway, his team did a study, not to try and disprove him, they actually did a study to try and prove him right, because they, like, everybody wants the magic solution, don't they? Anyway, they managed to prove that in actual fact it is calories. It's a calorie aspect of the keto that is the fat loss. Alright, so there you go. Not fascinating to you guys, fascinating to me. But so it doesn't really matter what the tactics are that you use in order to lose body fat. It all boils down to that sweet spot of being in a calorie deficit. Now, that's all fine and well and good. The key part about the permanency, because anybody can be in a calorie deficit for days or weeks and feel like they're doing particularly well. The key is obviously the permanency. So if you want, like, some people are just happy to lose maybe £5 every now and then for an event, or they've got a specific outfit that they want to wear, and losing £5 is going to really help them out. That is in the winter, I'm absolutely cool having a little bit more body fat, and then in summer, want to lose it. But I don't necessarily need or care to maintain that all year round. Same goes with physique competitors, bodybuilders and whatnot. If they go on stage, they have to do a cut, but it's not sustainable. It's only a short-term thing, okay? So they can be very, very strict for a short amount of time. But for the most of us who, if you want to lose a good couple of dress sizes, then obviously you don't want to do that temporarily, like you're putting in the work. You want it to be permanent. It's what you would do to create that permanency that makes that difference between it being a short-term thing and a long-term thing. Okay, but ultimately, either way, the physical changes are all about the calories in, calories out. The mind changes are different. The mind changes have to underpin all of that. So anyway, food. Now, I think you've probably all heard. Now, what was the thing that you used to hear? This was when I was at school, I'm sure, that celery had negative calories. Celery had so little calories that you spent more calories eating the celery than you did by consuming it, which in actual fact is actually true, because there's very little calories in things like iceberg lettuce, celery, etc. But we're not going to be eating that very much, because in actual fact it doesn't give us an awful. It's a good filler, absolutely. Can add texture and flavour to things, but from a point of view of filling you up, it ain't going to last very long, is it? You know, if you've ever tried to eat a big bowl of salad, it gets quite arduous after a while, and then 2 hours later you're like, I'm starving just eating the salad. We need to have the things that fill us up at the same time. So I want to talk to you about 3 things, 3 foods, and I have purposely picked these 3 foods. I could have gone on and on, but I'm keeping it short and sweet tonight. But 3 foods that are providers of awesome nutrients and are very helpful for a fat loss goal. Okay. Now, if anybody who knows me, I don't know who is. Right, so there'll be some people from the Academy group, which is our lovely client area, welcome ladies, who, and if Clara's here, I think Clara's coaching just now, but anyway, talking about things like salmon, like mackerel, like trout, sardines, and can't think off the top of my head. There are other fatty fish, right? Now, fatty fish is a tremendous food in terms of our health and can actually be really conducive to fat loss, but there's a couple of things to be mindful of. So, huge nutrient value, huge protein source. The downside of fatty fish, oily fish, is that fat as an entity is quite calorific. So, fatty fish can be quite full of the calories. However, one of the characteristics of fatty fish is the omega-3 property. Okay, so some of you may be taking omega-3 supplements. I take an omega-3 supplement. It's something that we might recommend to our clients after a consultation. So please don't just go, oh, I'm taking omega-3 because Emma said so. Please don't do that, because I'm not recommending that you take omega-3, because that would not be professionally very good of me to do that. So yeah, don't do that. But omega-3 there's some studies, now use my language here, there are some studies, and basically with every study, if you want to go and find out something, you'll find an opposing study. But there are a lot of positive studies that suggesting that omega-3 can help with fat loss, but omega-3 can also help with lowering of cortisol. Now, if you have been on any of my live trainings before, particularly the ones about hormones, you'll know that cortisol is a hormone primarily related to stress. So when we get stressed, whether emotionally, through circumstance, or whether we get stressed physically because we're not eating enough, or we get stressed because we're not sleeping enough, it doesn't matter what the stress is, we release cortisol, which is a hormone, and cortisol basically plays havoc with our other hormones, which can make losing fat. We've had quite a few clients over the years where this has actually been such a thing that they're being in a calorie deficit because they're not eating an awful lot at all, but because they're not eating enough calories to fuel their body, a lot of people refer to it as starvation mode, and it's not starvation mode. If you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose body fat, but it will be harder the higher your cortisol levels are. But what we often find is stress levels with our ladies, well, a lot of our ladies tend to be from over exercising, because they're using exercise as a technique to lose body fat, to try and create a bigger calorie deficit. But as we age and we're so much more susceptible to cortisol, doing HIIT and weight training and whatnot is putting a stress in our body, so cortisol levels increase. And then our fat loss slows down, and then we're trying to increase exercise, and our fat loss slows down even further. We've had to actually reduce the amount of exercise, which sounds very counterintuitive, and I completely get that, but it's about a change in the activity, so there can be a lot of value replacing some HIIT with maybe something a little bit more lower impact, like a walk or a slow jog or some rowing or something that's just a bit of a lower intensity. That again, very personal. You don't know if it's you, whatever. But yeah, back to the fatty fish. Sorry, I keep going off on tangents tonight. I don't know what's wrong. The fatty fish. So yeah, full of nutrients, tasty if you like fish. If you don't like fish, kind of stuck. But as I will say to my little boy, who changes his mind on fish on an almost daily basis, studies tell us that our taste buds keep changing, so every 7 years or so you may actually like new things. So if you've not eaten fish for a long time because you don't like the taste of it, give it a try again. Same with anything. If you've never eaten sprouts because you don't like the taste, give them a try again. I came into sprouts later in life. Eggs, I didn't ever used to eat eggs, and now I eat all the eggs. So anyway, yes, so fatty fish, omega-3, increase in omega-3 can help lower cortisol, which can help improve fat loss. True story. Right, moving on to next nature's superfood is the humble egg. The humble egg. I love eggs, actually, freaking love eggs. And Clara slags me off about the eggs, but that's fine. Huge, they're very high in protein. So the white of the egg is very high in protein, also contain quite a lot of fat, so the yolk tends to be fatty, but they really do help curb hunger, and because they are so high in protein, eating them earlier in the day for breakfast can really help with that 3 o'clock slump of starvation. Now, I was reading about this study the other day, and that's actually what kind of prompted where my head was at today. So a very small study of men, and this is another thing, all studies are with men because they don't have erratic hormones. So yeah, women are always in the last. Okay, a study of 21 men who ate 3 eggs a day. They, over the course of the study, they averaged out at eating 400 calories less a day because of the introduction of the humble egg. So the humble egg. So the good thing about eggs is they're so versatile. You can have them at any time of the day. You can eat them any way you want. You can eat them. You can drink them raw if you want to. You can, if you're trying to reduce the fat, you can take out the yolk and have the egg white. We often, with our clients, recommend maybe having an egg with 2 egg whites as an omelette, or 2 eggs and an egg white for our omelette. Just to help balance those macros a little bit if we're struggling with our fats. So yeah, eat your eggs, ladies. They're yummers. I'm not being very vegan friendly today, am I? Or vegetarian friendly today, sorry. And the final piece, this is another area of topic that I've talked about quite a lot, is around oils, fats and oils. So typically what we see a lot of in this age range, women in their 40s and 50s, is that they tend to be really carbohydrate heavy in their diet, for a number of reasons. One, we've been told that fat is bad, so we've grown up thinking that fat is bad, and our mums have maybe introduced that to us. Or carbs are easier, grabbing a sandwich is easier, having a bit of toast is easy, having some pasta, having some rice is as the bulk of our meal. I mean, even in I think it's still the Eat Well plate is called, that they teach in schools, like half of your plate starchy carbs, which is kind of like, no, I'm going to not do that. But it's not about reducing carbs. Carbs are good. We need carbs to fuel our body. They're preferred energy source. We love a carb. They taste nice. All fruit and veggies are carbs. So if you're talking about cutting out carbs, you're not cutting out fruit and veggies. Like, no one ever should say, oh, reduce your amount of apples that you're eating. Like, really? No. So anyway, oils and fats. So typically what we see, women coming into our client area when we're checking food diaries, very low in protein, very low in fat, very high in carbohydrates. So one of the things that we look at working on is increasing our protein and increasing our fat, so that we have a much... It's about getting to a happy level of carbs and a happy level of fats and a happy level of proteins, so that our body functions properly. And when we have our body function properly, it means that, yes, we're losing fat easier than we ever have done before, but it also means we have more energy because we're fueling our body right, and we're also keeping our hormones happy, which is fat comes in. So one of the things that we do say in 40s and 50s might need to increase your overall percentage of fat in your diet, but I mean good fats. So that's not like going to Greggs and grabbing a pie. That's about using good quality oils and fats, like your olive oils or your avocado oils, or even your coconut oils to some extent. So again, small study. I think this was 15. I didn't take the writing down of that one. Small study of post-menopausal women, so women that have not had a period for 1 year or more, showed that there was with the introduction of olive oil in their diet. Now, it doesn't tell me what the volume was, so again, we have to be very careful because oil as a macro carries a lot of fat. But in this group of women, it showed that their metabolism increased, which allowed them to burn fat quicker. So that ties in with all the other research that we actually know about without even this small study, is that having a balanced diet of proteins, fats and carbs is going to help you lose fat easier and lose more fat. Alright, so that's me. I wanted to bring in the eggs for a start, because I don't feel that any live should be complete without an egg now. I might just bring a bucket of eggs next week. But do you have questions? I can actually see comments today, which is novel. Do we have any questions? Because I want to answer some questions. Any questions? Like, where did you get your necklace, Emma? What mascara have you used today, Emma? What have you done today, Emma? Today I presented at a mastermind, which was fabulous. I loved doing that. If anybody wants me to come in and do a mastermind, feel free to invite me. Bar mitzvahs, weddings, funerals, anything at all. So yes, that's us. No questions? This is interesting. Tumbleweed. Alrighty, so that is your top 5 top 5 foods for fat loss. All foods as being conducive to fat loss. We should not be restricting ourselves of anything. Of those foods, but we never want to reduce those things, ever. Imagine me saying, oh yeah, I need to cut out the alcohol. No alcohol. Not going to happen, ladies, not going to happen. So yes, be mindful of your foods, be mindful of your carbs, be mindful of your fats and your proteins. Eat protein in the early part of the day. Make sure you're eating enough fat. Helps boost the metabolism, helps us lose body fat, helps us all be a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Again, not vegan friendly. I did actually have a lady message wanting more information on protein for vegetarians, and I do actually think we've got one, but I'm going to add that to the list about what we can do. And if you have any ideas, if you have burning questions, if you've got confusion in your mind about some of the crap that you are told on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you choose to go, then let me know in the comments, because there will be elements of you guys not knowing. You don't know what you don't know. But also, I want to make sure that you are as up to speed as you can be. I want to make sure that you have the knowledge that you can turn around to your pal Karen, who tells you that, oh my god, you have to do keto intermittent fasting because it's the only way to lose weight, and you can just turn around and go, bullshit. It's not. Okay? Let me know in the comments. Speak soon. Bye 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 bye. Still here. Still have to log off.